Hakadosh, Erev Tov, Masechet Ketubot Daf Tet Amud Aleph. We were talking about 79a1. The Gemara is talking about now the story with Rav Nachman. If you remember, what happened was a woman had properties and she was going to get married, and she didn't want that the husband would take the properties. So what did she do? She wrote the document of giving all the properties towards the daughter. She got married and then she got divorced, and the husband comes and he says, "No, what's the properties?" And what happened was that the daughter comes and she takes out a document. And the document says, no, it belongs to her. So Rav Nachman comes and he tore it up. Why did he tear up the document? Because obviously she did not have the kavanah to give it to the daughter. She just wanted to take it away from the husband. So that's it. So Rav Anan comes in front of Mor Ukva. And he comes and he says, right? Did you see the rabbi how Nachman the Kafri, Nachman the villager, which means that he's not baki in judgments, right? That he comes and he starts tearing up documents of people, right? This is what Rav Anan, right, is coming and telling Mor Ukva. Elmaleh, so Mor Ukva tells him, tell me exactly, what was the case? Elmaleh comes and he says, this is what the case was. Elmaleh, he says, Shtar mavrachat kamarta? Are you talking about a shtar, a document which is lavriach nechasim, to rush off properties, like to hide properties? This is what Rav Chanilai says in the name of Shmuel. Moreh hora ani. I am a moreh hora, which means I was kibalti reshut. I have permission from the resh kaluta to come and to judge. If I have a document which is not a real, genuine document, it's a document to take away, that way people don't, I'm going to tear it up. So therefore, this is actually a proof that really be'emet, he was correct, Rav Nachman. Okay? So Elmaleh, Rav Nachman says, Rav Nachman, how are you somech on Shmuel that you tore up the document? Tamamai, what's the reasoning that Shmuel says you're going to tear up a document like that? Because nobody would take it, meaning leave himself empty-handed and give it to somebody else. That's only to somebody else. But here it's to the daughter. To the daughter, you would give it to your own daughter and you would give her everything. It's your own child. So answers the Gemara, says Rav Nachman, even for her daughter, who does she care about more? Herself or her daughter? Herself. So because of that, it should be for herself. So Meitvei, they're going to ask the following question. A woman that doesn't want to take away the properties, the husband will not be able to take it. So how does she do it? So she's going to write a document of piusim, of basically to appease to somebody else. Right? That means basically they're going to come and they're going to accept the present. And therefore, what's going to happen is it doesn't belong to the husband. These are the words of Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, Rashbag. Chachamim say, Ratza metzachek ba. If the one that's mekabel the shtar, he could actually come and take it forever. Right? Ad shetichtov lo, until she's going to write to him, me'ayom lichshertzeh. From today it's given to you until I want. What does that mean? That basically there's going to be, which means that I won't actually give it as a matana or not, then it's going to be chal matana mafreya. Okay? Ta'ama, the reason why the katva le'achib, she wrote on the document like that. Me'ayom lichshertzeh. But if she didn't, kanenu lokal, so then he acquires it immediately. So there's a stira to that which Shmuel says you destroy it. How do you destroy it? According to this, he actually keeps he keeps this present. So Amar Bizera says Bizera, la kashia, it's not a question. Ha bekula veha bemiksata. What does that mean? Shmuel, that he says you have to tear up a document, is talking about a document, shtar matana bekula, which is in all her properties. Since she didn't leave over nothing for herself, that's when we said that it's not going to be good. But if it was only miksata, which means that she only gave over part of her properties, so then we are going to say yes, that it is good that what she gave over. So says the Gemara, 1 second, if the shtar is batel, so then 1 second, so then how does the shtar help, right, to be mavriach the nechasim? So then the husband is going to get it. Because remember, he gets married, now he acquires everything that he's able to actually eat the fruits. So Amar Abaye says, they're made like properties which are not known to the husband. This is going according to Shita of Rabbi Shimon. We already said that the Baal is not zoche nechasim which are not yeduim labal. Says the Mishnah on Ayin Tet Amud Aleph, Naflula kesafim yilekach be'en karka. What happens right now if after marriage, right, she gets a Yerusha of money, liquid, she gets cash, right? She purchases a piece of land. Now the husband, right, gets the fruits, but she still keeps the property, meaning the property is under her name. The deed is in her name. However, though, he gets the fruits or the rent or whatever it is that it's getting. If she all of a sudden now gets perot, which are tushim, when she gets fruits, purchase a piece of land, and again, he gets the fruits of the land. If she gets fruits which are connected to the ground, says we're going to evaluate how good is it, how well is it in the fruits, and how much is it without fruits. Meaning, we're going to take this piece of land. We're going to evaluate how much is it with the fruits and how much is it without the fruits. And the difference between with and without the fruits, she's going to purchase a piece of land, he gets the fruits again. Chachamim say, if it's mechubar lakarka, shelo, it belongs to him. Because basically the Chachamim give it to him like perot, right? Which means that he's got the keren of the karka. But if it's going to be tlushim in karka, shela, it belongs to her. Then she's going to purchase a piece of land and he still eats the fruits. Right? The Mishnah is going to finish off by saying, Rabbi Shimon says, Mekom shiyafe kocho beknisata, in a place where the husband has a lot of koach when it comes in, for example, niksemelug, okay, which when he gets married, so it's going to be worse when he goes out, when he divorces her. But if it's in a place where he doesn't have a lot of strength when it comes in, so then it's going to have a lot of strength when he goes out. What's the case? If you have fruits which are mechubar lakarka when it comes inside, shelo, right? So then it belongs to him. But when she leaves, shela, the karka itself belongs to her. But if it's going to be tlushim min karka, b'knisata shela, so if it's talush min karka, detached from the ground, so then when it comes into the marriage, it belongs to her. But when she goes out, everything really belongs to him. Because all the perot and everything that he had already, he was zacha behem with the perot of nichsemelu. Says the Gemara, Shita, I understand, ara ubate, right? It says over here like this. It's pashut that if one of the zug wants to purchase ara ubate, which means one of them wants to buy a piece of land, another one wants to buy houses. So what do? They buy a piece of land. Ara, karka always. Bate vedikle, if one of them wants to buy houses and one of them wants to buy dekalim, right? It's a temar, basically date trees. Bate, you buy, right, houses. First of all, the reason why you're going to buy land is because they have more revach, meaning there has more gain, and it never leaves. The land is always there. A house could, whether it's wear and tear, this, that. Bate vedikle, he says, first of all, you get much more money from a house than from a dekel, because a dekel, a palm tree, could dry up, and a house, usually you'll get rent from it. Dikle v'ilan, if it's a dekel or ilanot, which are regular trees, dikle, you should do kalim. Why? Because the kalim stay longer, meaning palm trees stay longer than regular trees. Ilane vegufne, if it's going to be regular trees and orchards, right, for the grapes. So in ilane, regular trees come beforehand, okay? Because in all these things, we want that it should stay longer time and you get more reward, like more rent or more money out of it, more value. Abba Zardata, right, it says here a woman that she gets a ya'ar. Ya'ar is like forest, in order to cut down trees. Upira de kavre, or brechav dagim. They used to have like a big pool of fish. Amarila peira. Some people say that the etzim, which is basically the wood from the forest, and the fish are considered perot, and therefore they go to the husband. And the karka goes to the woman. Amrila karnan. Some people say no, that everything is part of the keren, and at the end of the day, it's going to go away. So therefore, they have to sell it, and then they have to buy karka, and then the husband will be able to come and to eat from the fruits. Klala Deminta, the general rule is gizo machlif. Anything that if you take it away, it's going to renew itself, rejuvenate itself. Right? That means you're going to take away the roots, it's going to rejuvenate itself. Peida, so then it's like perot. And gizo machlif, but if it does not, then rather it gets completely destroyed, so then it's karna, then it's going to be the keren, the principle. Amar Bizera, Amar Rabbi Yoshi, Amar Rabbi Yanai says Bizera, Amar Rabbi Yoshi, and Rabbi Yanai. Some people say Rabbi Abba, Amar Rabbi Yoshi, Amar Rabbi Yanai. Some people say it's Rabbi Abba, name of Yoshi, and the name of Rabbi Yanai. Hagonev Vlad Behemat Milog Meshalem Tashlum Kefil Isha. So if somebody, Ayin Tetam Bet 79b, if somebody is going to steal the child, right, of a Behemat Milog, which is basically, remember, Nichse Milog is properties of Milog, which came from her, and right? The behemat milog is the animal from the milog. So he has to pay tashum kefel laisha. He's paid double to the woman, which means like this: if you steal something, you don't only have to pay back the ken and the principal, you have to pay back kefel, which is double. Who gets this double? The woman, because since this belonged to the woman, this animal, because it was nikseh milug, it was like a property that she brought into the marriage. So therefore, he has to pay the wife double. So Keman, who's this go like? Look at Rabbanan, not like Rabbanan. Look at Hananya, not like Hananya. The Tanya was going to write Vlad be'emad melog labal. It goes to the husband. Vlad shivchat melog, if it's going to be the child of a shivcha, of a maidservant, to the isha, to the woman. Hananya ben Achi Yoshia Omer Amar Asu Vlad shivcha melog ke Vlad be'emad melog. Said that both of them they made the vladot to the husband. So therefore, you see from here that everything goes to the husband, not to the woman. So what's going on there? So answers the Gemara. You could say it's going to everybody. Why? Peira takin Rabbanan. The Rabbanan only made perot for the husband. Peira the peira not takin Rabbanan. But this is perot of perot, which means like this: the husband, what does he get? The fruits. This is the fruits of the fruits. Because when the person came and he stole, right, the animal, the husband had the rights of the fruits, which is the actual animal, to use the animal. If now you come and you steal the animal, now you have to pay back double to the woman. So that's the fruits of the fruits, because the animal itself is already fruits that you're able to use. So therefore, if it's the fruits of the fruits, that doesn't go to the husband, it goes to the woman. That's why it's a divra kol according to everybody, that it goes to the wife and not to the husband. So Bishma lechananya, I understand according to Chananya delo chashin lemita, because we're not going to suspect maybe it's going to die, and then the keren is going to go away. But according to the Rabbanan, why don't we suspect maybe, right, she's going to die, meaning the mother is going to die, and then there's not going to be any keren. So afilu vlad be'emat milog nami lo. So then, even if it's going to be the child of the be'emat milog, also it's not considered perot, right? V'lo chayshi lemita. If you're not going to suspect for death, afilu vlad shivcha milog nami, it should be the same thing. What's the difference between the shivcha and a be'ema, the maidservant and the animal? So answers the Gemara, lo'olam chayshi lemita. Really, be'emet, we're talking about that we're going to suspect for mita, which means that vladot shivcha are considered keren, principal, and not perot, because we're going to suspect maybe the mother is going to die, and then there's not going to be any keren. But a difference between an animal and human being is the kaora, because even if it's going to die, it never finishes completely. A human being dies, kaddish, there's nothing else there. But when it's the animal dying, you could still skin the animal and use the skins, so you still have a gain for it. So Amar Rav Huna bar Chia, Amar Shmuel says Rav Huna bar Chia named Shmuel, halacha kechanya, that the Baal is going to be zocheh, also in the vlad of the shivcha. So Amar Rav Nachman says Rav Nachman afagav dam Shmuel halacha kechanya, even though he said halacha is like Chananya, modeh Chanya she nigarsha, he is modeh that if she gets divorced, notenet damim v'notaltam yineh shevach bet aviyah, she could actually just pay for it and then she takes it back. Meaning he cannot say, listen, this is mine, so now tough luck, I want it. No, she could give him the money and say, this is the value, take it. That's it. And it's up to her to do that. Meaning she could, why? Because of the kavod of her father's house. And since it came from the shivcha of her father's house, so therefore she's able to come and take it out with her. So Amar Rav Nachman says, Rav Nachman, imagine right now, she brought in as nichse melug, an ez, a goat, in order for the chalav, right? For the milk. Rachel, a sheep, right? For the giza, for the shearings of the wool. Tarnegolet for the beitzah, for the eggs. Dekel perotav, a dekel for the perot. Ochel veolech ad shtichle hakeren. So she's allowed to continue going. Ochel veolech ad shtichle hakeren, which means that until the baalei chaim they die, or the dekel is going to completely dry up, right? Because since there's always going to be a little bit of something, that means by the behemoth you have the skins, the tarnegolet you still have the feathers, the dekel you still have the wood. So therefore it doesn't finish completely. So since it doesn't finish completely, you're still able to come and to benefit, to enjoy. So Amar of Nachman says of Nachman, Aila le glima, right? So he comes and he says, if the woman came and she brought in a glima, like a jacket, perav, it's considered perav, mix it there, so the husband can wear it until it completely wears out. The shechakim and everything which is left over is going to be for the woman as a keren. So says the Gemara, Keman, who does this go like? Keitana, like this Tana. Tana was learned to write the hamelach. Right, we're talking about brechat hamelach. Right, that means it's like for salt. The achol, or it's a place where they have chol, where they have sand inside. This is considered perot because it never finishes. Pirshel gofrit, but if it's going to be a hole which is full of gofrit, of sulfur, or machporet shel tzarif, which is going to be of, here it says it's like it's used for coloring the silks and for clothing. Rabbi Meir says it's considered keren and not perot. So it's a principle and not perot, because since they don't become new, at the end it's just going to wear out, it just goes out completely. So therefore you have to sell it and then you get the karka. Chachamim say it's like perot. Rabbi Shimon says, Makom sheyafe kocho. Rabbi Shimon, I know Tanakama, he says, one second, but isn't Rabbi Shimon the exact same shita as the Tanakama? This is where we're going to the two dots again. If you remember that Rabbi Shimon came and he said that if he has a stronger hand in the entrance when he comes into the marriage, so then he's got a weaker hand when he comes out. But the opposite, if he has a weaker hand when he comes in, he has a stronger hand when he comes out. So Rabbi Shimon, I know Tanakama. Rava comes and he says, Mechubarim shat yitziah yikevna. No, the difference between them is going to be if it's going to be mechubar during the time of divorce. That's a machloket. According to Chachamim, since they grew in his possessions, they are shaykh to the husband. According to Rabbi Shimon, they're shaykh to the woman, and therefore she takes the karka with the perot together, even though it grew now when the husband was there and he had it. Okay, Mishnah and Aintet Amubet. Mishnah on 79b. Naflu la'avadim u'shvachot zekenim. What happens now? She has a Yerusha avadim. We're talking about slaves, maidservants, which are zekenim. So imachru, sell them. Yilakach mehen karka, and you purchase a piece of land. Ochel perot, and again the husband is going to come and he's going to have the perot. Rabban Shimon comes here and he says, why? Because we're going to suspect that maybe they're going to die. So if they're going to die, he won't get the perot, so therefore he's allowed to do this. Rabban Shimon Rashbag says, Lo timkor, she's not obligated to come and to sell it. Why? Because at the end of the day, these are the people that came from their father's house. So it's like a Yerusha. Because of the Shevach Betavia, she doesn't have to sell these elderly maidservants or slaves or whatever it is. Naflula zetim gefanim zekenim. What happens if now she has atzeh zayit or gefanim? So basically olive branches, olive trees, or orchards. You sell it. And again, he's going to purchase a piece of land and then he's going to eat the fruits of you. The Rabbi says, Lotim kol, you shouldn't sell it. The same thing, Shevach Betavia. Says the Gemara, Amarav Kan, says Rav Kan in the name of Rav, Machloket, the Machloket between Tanakam and Rabbi Yehuda to do with the zetim and gefanim zekenim. Shenaflu b'sadeh shela, if it's in her field. But if it wasn't in her field whatsoever, according to everybody, you have to sell it. Why? Because in such a case, if it's not going to be, the woman will not have anything afterwards. There's no tanat shevach betavia. What's shevach betavia? Shevach betavia means that, look, this is from her father's house, but if it's not in her field anyway, so then what do you care? So then you have to sell it. So Matki, Rav Yosef comes and he asks, one second, avadim u'shvachot is not her field. Upligin, there's still a machloket also in that case of avadim u'shvachot, whether you have to sell the avadim u'shvachot, which they are zekenim, which they are elderly. So answers the Gemara, this is what it means to say. Amarav says, machloket is going to be b'sadeh she'ena shela, in a field which is not hers. But if it's going to be a field which is hers, according to everybody, you're not going to sell it because of the appreciation of the value for the father's house, which means she could come and just say, listen, it belonged to the fathers, so it's chashuv. So therefore, she doesn't have to sell it. And according to everybody, she doesn't need to sell in such a case. Says the last Mishnah on Ayin Tet Amubet. Hamotzi otzaot anexei ishto. Somebody's going to spend money for the upkeeping of his wife's properties. Let's say he took out a lot of money, but he only ate a little bit of the perot. Or the opposite, he only spent a little bit of money, but he ate a lot. Whatever he spent, and whatever he ate. Which means if he comes and he divorces her, they go back the exact same. He doesn't have to start spending more. No, we don't take him to cheshbonot. But if he spent money but he never ate anything, he's shavak kamotzi. So then he has to swear how much did he take out. He told him he's going to take the money. Have a wonderful day.